Okay, now we're ready to start learning how to roll coils and put the coils on. So I've got my clay. I'm going to cut off a substantial amount so that I can make a nice long coil. This clay goes right back into my bag. Sorry to be like a broken record, but I've got to make sure that your clay lasts. It goes right back inside my bag. And I am going to ziplock it closed after got all the air out. Okay, I've put my base on a piece of wax paper that I can kind of move away. I'm going to roll my coils directly on the surface here. Now, if you can't find a surface to do them on, you're just going to make littler ones, but it's easier to roll directly on a surface. If you go on paper or foil, it's not going to, it wraps around too much. Okay, so I've cut off a little block. I'm going to just kind of squish it into a bit of a hot dog. Just kind of massaging it into a round hot dog. It's all lumpy, doesn't matter. Okay, now the important part is that you're going to use this part of your hand and this part only, not your fingers. You're only going to use this part. Your fingers actually are up. They're not down, they're up. Because you want to keep the flattest part on the clay. If you start using your fingers, you're going to make lumps. Okay, so you're going to start with just this part of my hand, and I'm going slowly, but I'm rolling back and forth, and my hand is also going side to side. Okay, so I'm rolling, and I'm going to flatten it a little bit. So you can see what happened. My clay is not, it's not turning out to be a circle. Okay, or a cylinder. So I'm going to bang it on the table a little bit. So now it's becoming almost like square. You can see the edges are flat. That's okay. You want to get it back into a shape that is going to go round. So I'm tapping it back into a round shape, and I'm going to start again. There, it's rolling much smoother now. Okay, once my coil starts to get pretty long, I can lock my thumbs. My fingers are still in the air, and I'm going to be sliding my hands back and forth. Again, I'm only using this part of my hand. So I've locked my thumbs, and I'm going back and forth. Okay, you're going to stop every once in a while. Now, I'm looking at my coil. I've got a thick part here, and it's thinner over here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm not going to put pressure over here. I'm going to try to fix this part. So my hand is just going to hold this side, but pressure is going to be over here. So I'm putting pressure. This is just making sure it doesn't flop around. This hand's pressure, this hand's just maintaining. So I'm putting a little pressure where my trouble area was, and it's fixed. For the most part, it's fixed. Okay, so I'm ready to go back. My hands are going from the left side to the right side, to the left side, to the right side. You can see my coil kind of travels with me, but it's starting to get longer. Okay, I'm going to stop and check. You need to stop and check often. Still a little bit thicker on the side than in the middle, so I'm going to, again, I'm not going to put pressure on this side. I'm just going to fix this side. Pressure, pressure. Now it's more even. I'm going to fix this side. This hand is just keeping it from flopping around. This hand is pressure. Good. My snake looks pretty good. All right, so you're going to make your coil as thin or as thick as you are able. I'm not there to help you, so we're just going to go with what you are able to do. The thinner your coil, obviously, the longer your coil will be, so you won't have to keep making coils. Should be about the thickness of your clay, 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so I'm just kind of skipping around looking to see where I need to apply pressure so that I can have a nice even coil. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, we're going to learn a couple different coil techniques. One is first just going around your base. Okay, so using my fork, I'm going to score all around the base. apply vinegar. Got the vinegar with my finger in the a cap to one of my jars that I threw away. And then you also have to score your coil. This is going to be a little bit tedious, but you're just going to rake up the side that's going to be attached to your piece. Okay. Okay, the first part, I'm going to start at the bottom and I'm going to just go coiling up. The first part, I want to have it blend out of my pot. So I'm going to take the end and cut it at a 45-degree angle. So this little extra piece here, I'm going to squish and keep that later for some slip. Okay, I'm going to put some vinegar on my coil that I just made. And I'm ready to apply. So, score to score, the 45-degree angle section goes down on the clay. Okay, then I'm going to simply just putting a little bit of pressure, wrap my coil going around. Score to score side. Okay, so now I'm about ready to go on top of my other coil. So now I have to score. And then I can put on vinegar and I'll continue to wrap my coil around. Okay, so I've got 2 layers of coil here. Now let's just say I ran out of my coil here. So when you're running out, you want your ending to be at a 45-degree angle. Okay, and I'm all scored up, ready to go. The attaching piece should also be at a 45-degree angle and should be scored. Okay, vinegar. And simply the 45-degree angle to 45, pressure, continue wrapping, and then I can come back and I can smooth so you can't see it very well. Sorry, I'm working backwards, so it's a little bit. Okay, and then I can continue to coil up if that's what my design is. I'm just going to cut this off again. Okay, the inside of your pot, what you're going to need to do is use your finger or some other tool, your fingernail backwards, and you're going to smooth down the inside. This will also help so that your coils don't all separate and pop apart. So you're just going to rotate around and smooth the inside. Using your finger to make it nice and clean. Okay, I could spend a long time fixing this up, but you can see that on the inside, it's smooth, but on the outside, I maintain my design. Okay, if you want to make spirals, spirals are very easy, but you sometimes have to kind of push the clay into itself to get it started, and you just have to gently massage that first little circle, pushing it in, otherwise you're going to get a lot of cracks. You can see mine starting to crack here now. So if it starts to crack, you're just going to smooth some of those, but the slower you go and the more you push it into itself, you won't get cracks. Okay, once it touches, pretty much then you're able to coil it up pretty fast. This you do not have to score. This will maintain the shape and will stay together. But you do have to score. See how I tailed the end? You would have to score here and join it onto here. So you'd have to score wherever it's attaching. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple of other quick techniques. I'm going to undo this one. Okay, there's the twist. Just going to break it in half. Okay, if you want to twist your clay, you would join a little bit at the top. It gives the idea of a braid. And you simply have, if you've got a long one, you put on top. I'm going to get this out of the way so you can see it better. Okay, so you would go on top, on top, on top, and then you just get a gentle twist. And that's how you would do a twist. If you want to do a braid, I'm going to take some of this off of here. Okay, this coil is looking a mess because it's all scored up, but you get the idea. The same idea, you would join it at the top. You have to pick your coil up, and then you have to braid. Those of you that know how to braid, you have to do it very gently though. You pick the pieces up very carefully so that you start to create your braid. Okay, at the top and at the bottom, if you wanted to match on the other side, to come around to the other side, that's a little bit tricky. You can do it. I suggest you make your piece longer than what you actually need. So when you are bending it, you can line the pieces up. I can't do it, my piece is way too small. If there's somebody that wants to know how to braid and join, I'll do another video on that. But braiding is probably the hardest. Twisting is a little bit easier. All the other techniques for coils are in the PowerPoint are pretty self-explanatory, but if you have any questions, please let me know and I'll make another video. Okay, Coils 101, over.